Economic growth may be weak. We just saw a GDP report for the winter, under 1%. What will ignite the economy going forward? Joining us now, Mark Vitner, senior economist at Wells Fargo. Good to see you, Mark.
Good to be with you.
We've seen consumer confidence strong. Unfortunately, spending not as strong. You say the GDP first quarter report was kind of a head fake. It was stronger if you look underneath.
Yeah,
than it really showed.
A lot of the weakness was in consumer spending, but a lot of that was in services, and most of that was utility purchases, just because of the unseasonably mild weather that we had.
Yeah. Let's talk about what you see for the housing market in the coming months. I mean, we see the growth. What will really give it the boost? But you seem optimistic on housing overall. And is there a particular area, or is it single-family homes? Is it a region in particular? Where's the strength?
Well, almost all the strength we've had so far has been in apartments. And that's because we've had this surge of young people coming into the economy, that have been coming into the workforce. And that's positive. But we haven't had much growth in single-family housing, mainly because folks have been a little uncertain as to whether the improvement in the economy was going to last or not. And what I think is really important to get household formations up is that we have to see the quality of jobs improve. And that's where I think the tax cut may help a little bit. I think it may entice some people back into the labor force. I think we may get a little bit more momentum in more parts of the country than we're seeing right now.
The other problem is changing cultures. Millennials, many of them, living at home with their parents, either saving money because they don't have a job or they just don't want to move out because it's nice and comfortable at home. How do you get millennials to step in, buy a house, have a family, buy the SUV, and do all the things you're supposed to do as you get older?
It's slowly happening. I mean, millennials, believe it or not, they're turning 37 this year, so they're getting to a point in their lives where they tend to form families and buy a house. Yes, the fastest growing part of homeowners right now is millennials, mainly because that's where the action is. You've got a rising number of people that are hitting their late 30s. But this is a generation that's got a lot of challenges. They graduated into a weak job market with a lot of student loan debt.
Yeah, but you just said late 30s buying homes for the first time.
Right.
I mean.
And the apartments, you said that younger people are just at least trying to get in there. The Trump administration, what can they do to help housing? Or what do you see?
One thing that could really help is that we could roll back some of the regulations on and make it a little bit easier for home builders to build homes. Right now, the cost of building a new home is so high, and there's so much fixed cost.
Such as what regulations are you referring to?
Well, some of them are environmental, and that there always seems to be a roadblock whenever someone wants to develop a new piece of land and saying, oh, well, that land had water on it at one time because it rained really hard. But or maybe they find some endangered species. And there are legitimate reasons to hold back construction in some cases. But it seems that in some ways, folks are just looking harder and harder to try to find ways to stop development. And the root cause of that, I mean, the net result of that is that the cost of building a new home has risen so high that you can't build starter homes. It makes it very hard for somebody to buy their first home and get the whole process started.
And that perfectly explains why home prices are so high. Mark Vitner, senior economist at Wells Fargo. Thank you.